Hello everybody, welcome back to the Infinity GT Manufacturers Series, and it's the last race of the season here at Monza. So this is the reverse race based on the results we had at Spa. So a couple of out of position cars, because a few people didn't really get on with Spa how they wanted to. One of them lines up on the front row, which is Mutt 36. Normally a very quick dude, but I just don't think that Ford GT40 liked Spa very much. We'll rattle through the grid very quickly and we'll see who starts well. So on pole on this one is Milky Bar 87 in the Mazda. The GT3 Mazda is a decent car, to be fair, so that will have the speed around here. Mutt 36 in the Ford. Fastest car for this track in my opinion. It was absolutely rocketing round in practice. So yeah, we'll see how the Fords get on. James Harben in the Alfa, won't lie, the Alfas are going to struggle. It's a power circuit. They will get swallowed up on the straights without any form of slipstream. Has 91 in the other Ford, lines up fourth. The Pole King in the Mercedes, another decent car for this track. The Merc's a nice powerhouse of a vehicle, so it should stand the test of Monza. Thundercat in the NSX, not the strongest track, but it does stick to the road well, and its fuel saving and tyre saving ability means that it could overwhelm on strategy. Rizla King in the other Mazda lines up 7th. Next to him is LBJ in the other Mercedes, starting 8th on this one. And then the other Alpha of Tricky Tree, with Pottermot Pot alongside. Behind Pottermot Pot is me in 11th place. The Lexus, not a bad car to be fair for this circuit, felt really good in practice, so I was hoping that was carrying over into the race. PAV 46 in the other Porsche. The Porsches, again, quite well suited to this track. I should imagine they'll go well. Fat Pickles Bro in the other Honda, and then lastly is Monsieur Dawson in last place in the Lexus. So let's get underway and see what the last race of the season in the Pro League holds in for you. Don't forget this whole league is sponsored by Infinity Decals, so if there's anything you want to check out and get printed on a t-shirt, now's your time to do it. Head over to the website, the link's in the description below. With all that said, let's get on with it. So turn 1 and 2 at Monza, famous for first lap incidents. Basically all 14 cars are going to want to go through the same narrow piece of tarmac at pretty much the same time. As you see, the Pole King gets a really good start there. He's up into third pretty much straight away. Milky Bar's had an absolute shock of a start. Mutt's got away well, so has 91, the two Fords 1 and 2. So has got his braking a little bit wrong though. He's going to take out his compadre. Mutt's going to get reset. A little bit of chaos caused by that because cars just now want to get out of the way, but things are starting to form out. You can see has 91 there in 9th, just basically trying to get out of the way. The Pole King then leads us away on lap 1 and down into the next zone of congestion is the next series of corners. We've got a lot of cars trying to scrabble for position here. Oh, Tricky Tree's round. We're going to go and have a look at what happened there. Go on board with the Alfa Romeo driver, so he's in 9th at the minute. I want to say it's me behind him with has 91, gets it a little bit loose in braking zone. Collects LBJ and that just sort of sends him round. He gets a whack for his trouble as well. So that unfortunately is Tricky Tree, stone dead last at the start of the race. Milky Bar's fought his way back up to 3rd. So not a bad showing from Milky Bar so far. Mutt 36 just about holding it together in 4th place so far. Put him at pot in the Porsche up to 7th. He did get a really good start in that Porsche 911 RSR, and he's now fighting his way up through the field. 7th place for him at the minute. Fat Pickles Bro and me pretty close together going into Ascari. Kind of just don't fight Fat Pickles at this point. There's not much point in fighting really until we get to the straights. It's only going to end in disaster if one of us does that. And meanwhile, James Harben in the Alfa Romeo, not mentioned him so far, holding his own in 2nd place. But this is where the Alfa's going to start to come undone on the straights. He's got a slipstream right now, so he should be okay with this. The off with a slipstream isn't bad in a straight. It's just once you drop that, once you drop the slip, then it's game over really. Let's see if there's any send it moves down in T1. A couple of cars braking performances a little bit late. It looks like Rizzler King went for a move on Mutt. Does manage to get that move made. The exit of T2. Further behind, not much doing. Dawson and Thundercat side by side. And Dawson of course started right at the back of the grid, and I think at the start of the race just wanted to stay out of trouble. Hence why we haven't really seen too much of him. So him and Thundercat now going side by side for position. Looks like Dawson does get that move made under braking. Path 46 bravely fights that one off though. Dawson for the time being just has to back out of that move. Path 46 in the Porsche holding his own. His compadre Potter is a few places higher up. Now I've got past Fat Pickles, bro, I can focus on closing the gap to that Porsche. At the minute I'm not getting slipstreams. Fat Pickles is probably just going to come straight back past me again. You see James Harben having to defend to the two Mazdas now. So James is starting to lose that slipstream. So this is where he's now vulnerable. Paul King is pulling a gap. Milky Bar's just going to go down the inside, I think. Yeah, he is coming into Parabolica. And there is a queue of cars now lining up behind James Harben. Of course, he's going to have the slipstream from Milky Bar now, so that's going to help him defend to his compadre Rizzler King. LBJ up to 5th, Mutt 36 down to 6. It was 4th a few. Well, we did see Rizzler King get past him, but I didn't see LBJ get past him either. As you see the cars stream down the start-finish straight. Tricky Tree has 91. Right down at the back of the grid, you see things are getting really close up here. The two Mazdas going side by side through there. Rizzler King, sorry, not Rizzler King, Milky Bar's lost out a little bit there, and he's now wanting to try and get past the Mazda driver. The Mazda driver, the Alfa Romeo driver. I'm getting all my fingers mixed up here. Bolt 36 going for a move. What's going on there? Oh, it's all getting a little bit claustrophobic. Oh, look at the opportunistic move there. Right, let's go back and have a look at this. So I sort of remember this happening at the time, and basically a load of cars just came to a stop. What had happened was, in fact we'll go back and have a proper look at it from Mutt's perspective. So we'll go on board. We'll go on board the Ford. Lovely interior in this car. Nice, I like it. Leather. Right, so Mutt just gets caught out by LBJ on the brakes. Does have to get out of it. Hits Milky Bar. And because of that, just sort of collects someone on the way through. Potter McPot's then slowed down on the exit, and I managed to sneak through by Potter McPot as well. So in pretty much one corner, 7th to 5th for me, I think. Maybe a few more spots, who knows. So it's me up to 5th. James Harben still in 3rd, doing a good job in that Alfa Romeo now, and LBJ is going to be chasing him down. I'm going to be chasing LBJ down. Pot wants to get that place back, so he's going to be on me like a tramp on chips. Dawson's up to 9th now, thanks to some of that chaos. Thundercat in 10th currently. And then we've got a few cars whose races have been over before they've really even begun. Tricky Tree's in there, so's Has 91, so's Mutt and Milky Bar. So these two have a nice little scrap at the back now. Of course, these are the two cars that were involved in that incident earlier on in the lap. Has 91 in the sister Ford. Should just be getting a blink of a slipstream from the Alfa Romeo up ahead. Has 91's just gonna dip his wheels on the grass and send that Ford parading into the barrier. So unfortunately for Has, that's stone dead last for him now, as he's gonna have to recover his race. A bit further up. Pavi Pickles is starting to kick off a little bit with Andy Dawson hopefully getting a move made. Not much has changed further up, so we'll just focus on the battle for 7th that's starting to kick off a little bit. Pav 46 just collects Pickles there. Pav just has to get out of it. Pickles survives, but Dawson's going to sneak through. Both cars survived that one. In fact, Pickles really on the edge, chasing down the Lexus driver. Dawson currently holding the fastest lap, 1:47.7 on high fuel. I've got good authority, it was heavily fuel saving at this point as well. Guy's an alien. In traffic, I'm in the 48s. I was running low 47s in practice, in race pace, but in traffic you slow down. Oh, get LBJ, look at that. I remember seeing this. So we'll go on board with me actually, and you get a really good view of this. So LBJ just gets the exit of Ascari a little bit wrong and just gives that Merc an absolute bootful. Just catches it on the grass, but the save. Unfortunately, that slowed him down though, so I can make a breeze past him. But yeah, brilliant save from LBJ. That's great car control. Because I made that pass at Parabolica, he's now got my slipstream. I didn't want to stay behind him though at that point. Worst case, he'd slipstream me and get past, and I've not really lost anything. Neither of us have really been slowed down by that. So yeah, there goes LBJ. Easy pass using slipstream there. Pot goes to look inside as well, but I'll cover that one off. Right down to 5th for me for the time being. Dawson meanwhile 7th place, closing Pot down a little bit. The two Hondas hoping to work together at this stage. Pav 46 and Tricky Tree now in their own little battle. Mutt, Milky Bar and Has 91 bringing up the rear of the field as it stands so far. Rizza Kings took the lead. Where's that happened? Right, here we go. Yeah, this is where it happened. I want to say this is a Vetafio chicane. I can't remember. My Italian's not up to scratch. But Rizza King just makes a nice little move here. Pulkin makes a tiny mistake with chicane. Rizza King gets himself through. So that's the Pulkin now down into 2nd. Rizza King in 1st. Similar fuel and tyres for those guys. Most running about half a tank. James Harben in his little Alpha. He's having to properly rag that thing just to get any performance out of it. Now he's starting to lose the slipstream from the cars in front. So LBJ, me and Potter gonna want to get that 3rd place off James Harben. Let's see if LBJ goes for it here. I think he backs out of it. The Alpha's got really good mid-apex speed, so he's able to defend in the corners, but at the end, and at heavy braking zones, he hasn't really got much of a chance. So two ahead going side by side. Now the Pulking takes the lead back. I did that under braking for the Parabolica. Rizza King fights that on the inside, and to be fair, watching that, I don't know why he bothered. I'd have just took back in, to be fair, and got the slipstream from the way. That's just, yeah, it seems a little bit pointless, to be fair. James Harben then getting swallowed up by cars now. He has to get out of it in the braking zone. Just about gets the Alpha stopped, has to take a little bit of an escape. Go and watch that back from James Harben's perspective. So coming on to Parabolica then, don't forget he's not really getting the slipstream from the cars behind, from the cars ahead. So you can see LBJ there stalking, and then that car you see there is me. So LBJ gets ahead but goes right in front of the braking zone. That means James Harben has to get out of it. Does manage to get the car stopped. No contact at all. No, not an ounce of contact. It's like, that's bloody good driving. Keeps 3rd position as well. Although I got a really good exit out of that corner. I've got 4th pretty much covered. I go to the inside on James Harben. The Lexus has just got the power, and I brake just a tiny bit later if possible. Just get that move made. So up into 3rd for me now. James Harben just manages to hold on to 4th. He's now got my slipstream, so that's going to help him out for the next lap or two. LBJ's lost out a little bit there. Dawson's up to 6. Pot will just get past Dawson again. I think he's just ran himself a little bit wide. Meanwhile, a bit further behind, Thundercat, Fat Pickles and Pav are now starting to develop their own little scrap. Tricky Tree's just about getting involved in this one as well. So Tricky Tree's there or thereabouts. Pav 10th at the minute, but we know that car and that driver's got pace in them, so we'll see if we can develop anything out of this. The NSX is a fair bit behind the pack above, so the fear is they obviously may get swallowed up now. My job at the minute, without using too much fuel, is to try and catch up to the dudes ahead and just get some slipstream. I don't know if I'm just about getting any right now. If I am, it's the faintest of suck effects. So the Alfa Romeo with slipstream is going to be in a position to make a move. So I do defend this one. Came to get a little bit of a tap from Potter on LBJ. Dawson is in full-on Predator mode now. This is from the back of Potter. So this is what he sees ahead of him. But then the ominous figure of Dawson lurking in the shadows. Just biding his time at the minute. I think Dawson just saving fuel behind the car. But Potter himself is reeling in the guys ahead, so as soon as he catches up to LBJ, that's going to slow him down. And he might be left vulnerable to the Lexus driver. Meanwhile, Thundercat doing a really good job. He's broke away from the pack a little bit as Thundercat, Fat Pickles and Pav now scrapping over that 9th position. 8th is starting to get away from them. Tricky Tree's involved in that fight as well. Milky Bar's in 12th currently, with Mutt 36 in 13th. The two Fords, after being favourites to take the win here, find themselves in the two bottom positions. So they're going to need a good old effort. Look at the rate that Mutt's come through his fuel as well. Most cars at least quarter of a tank. Some even more so. Most of us on over quarter of a tank. If you're limited to anything in this race, it's fuel. Didn't really strategize that too much. The front I've got a bit of a kick in at Parabolica and Curva Grande, but that's about it. The two up ahead, Rizzler King and the Pull King, the two kings, for the time being, keeping things as they should be. First and second, third, myself just about clinging onto the slipstream that they're providing. I'm beginning to reel them in ever so slightly. Running in sort of the 48s now. Purple first sector, so feeling good at this minute in time. Is starting to put the times in. Dawson, my teammate, running in 7th. You can see everything sort of as it was at the minute. The race has settled down into a little bit of a rhythm. Tends to happen in these in this pro race, in this pro lobby. Things just sort of settle down mid-race. Well, everyone just focuses on their own things, does a little bit of fuel saving, gives himself the lost opportunity and considers when a pit stop might be needed. So the Bull King and the Rizzler King very close now. Massive rear wing on that Mercedes, just blocking any sort of view. Most cars opt in just to do the fuel saving tactic, see if anyone peels into the pits. We are at the 15-minute mark roughly. If you pit now and you trigger the first pit stops, you risk running time without a slipstream. I opt not to do that. So because Rizzler King stayed out, I stayed out. Tyres were good, fuel was good, no issues, it was part of my plan anyway. But Dawson comes in, so Dawson's triggering the undercut now after saving a lot of fuel, and his target's bottom at pot, so we'll see how that develops when the pit stops are all done and dusted. Pit stops done with then. So James Harben comes out in second position after all's done and dusted. King does lose out a little bit. King of the undercut, bottom of pot, puts probably a little bit less fuel in than I'd expect him to, but I guess his plan is to get out in front and manage the pace. So as it stands, bottom of pot for first place for him. Managed to save quite a bit of fuel in stint 1 and looks to be repeating that feat in stint 2. James Harben in the Alpha didn't change tyres, did he? Those tyres have got a lot of wear on them. So James, I don't know whether you forgot to change your tyres or you didn't do it on purpose, but it might cost you now. Because you've got a Rizzler King all up in your grill. LBJ in 4th. Dawson did a little bit of a switcheroo. I didn't want to hold him up. Knew he had faster pace than me, just basically let him by. So Dawson now up into 5th. See if things get a little bit tense coming down to Ascari. Rizzler King up with a move on James Harben. Dawson and LBJ. Versus James Harben here now. So this is where the race is probably going to spice up for a little bit when pit stops work themselves out. James hangs it round the outside. Dawson's just got the pace in that Lexus. Which way's LBJ going to go to give the slipstream out? For the time being, everyone just has to sort of tuck back in. Right there, LBJ's gaining on Rizzler King here. Look. Not enough to get the move made right now. Dawson gets a move made on James Harben. A nice sneak through as well. James has lost 2 places in 1 corner there. Sorry, mate. Paul King, after leading the race for a little bit, finds himself down in 7th. It's like a bit of a slow lap somewhere's cost him a lot of time. Fat Pickles, bro. Tricky Trees, 1 out over there. He's leapfrog. Thundercat, Pav 46 actually ran out of fuel on his in-lap, so that's cost him a bucket ton of time. Mott 36, 12, Milky Bar 13th currently. He's just pitted, and Has 91's just pitted as well. He's on the soft tyres, looking to go to the end. As far as field spread goes, there's not a lot in it. It's very close and compact. Looks like Dawson's going to try and make a move for 3rd. LBJ in the Merc, really good pace in this race. You can see he's lapping in the... well, his lap times aren't consistent, but that's only really because he's fighting. Dawson just makes a little bit of a mistake. Ascari. LBJ goes for maximum slipstream. It nearly collects me, but we just about make it happen, and I managed to get back up to 3rd place. So 3rd for me at the minute. So now I just need to try and manage pace. I'm not getting slipstream, so I'm just basically punching a hole in the air for everyone right now. So staying in 3rd is going to be a bit of a challenge. Dawson versus James Harben yet again. It's a familiar sight this from last time round. Dawson just gets a move made on braking. I think LBJ just backed out of a move on someone there, and that cost him, so he's now down to 5th place. Oh, and everyone back here is getting a little bit tense as well. What happened there? Is that the Fat Pickles bro on the inside of Paul King? Puff of smoke from the Merc. It just has to go deep into T1. Everyone makes it through absolutely fine though, no issues. Let's go and check in on Potter, see how he's getting on. Currently running half tank of fuel. Rizzler King putting him under a little bit of pressure. Don't forget, Potter is managing pace now, so he's purposely going a little bit slower than that car can do. Putting less fuel in at the pit stops to get the leapfrog on everyone, and because of that he's got to manage pace. Someone who doesn't have to manage pace is me. I can nail it now. I realise I've got plenty of fuel. So is Dawson, so me and Dawson are on attack mode now in 3rd and 4th. Trying to chase down the guys ahead. we may choose to deploy team orders and go the old Dawson is quicker than you, can you confirm you understand strat. Nice and easy way of doing that at Monza, just at the end of one of the straights. Just let off the gas before you brake. You see Dawson just gets that move made nice and easy under braking. LBJ's looking to gather back that space. So we're now in a little bit of a train. You see Potter and Rizzler King fighting for honours here. Rizzler just looks to have got that made on the brakes. That's a good move, that. Potter will probably quite happily sit behind another car for 5 minutes or so. And just use that car as a little bit of a slipstream aid, so he's probably not too fussed at that hand. Dawson up into third. LBJ's got past me coming down into T1. I kind of expected it. The Mercs are powerhouse and LBJ's on form today. I will want that place back though, so I'll be putting some pressure on him, you rest assured. James Harbin behind me. Probably just getting the tiniest of slipstreams, but to be brutally honest, the Alpha at this track, not a massive threat. And I mean that in the greatest of respects. The Alpha has to be getting a strong slipstream to be a threat on this course, because there's just very few corners for it to deploy its ace. The NSX of Fat Pickles Bro in train number 2, consisting of Fat Pickles, Tricky Tree, Thundercat, Pav and the Pool King. So these 5 cars fighting for honours now. Currently leading the charge on that one is Fat Pickles Bro. And see how much the slipstream effect is worth here at Monza. Tricky Tree just basically drives around him. Great shot that is. Thundercat in the other NSX is going to want that slipstream. Probably a bit of a bump draft coming up. Yeah, there we go. Just to help the NSX cores rattle along a little bit more. So about 5 minutes to go with this race now, so this is where we'll probably see a little bit more fighting carry on. Not 3 wide into T1 here. This Tricky Tree wants to rescue his race. Forget the threats that stand in this pack though. Just because they're 7th to 11th or whatever it is doesn't mean these are slow drivers. Any of these drivers have the capability of winning a race on a given day very, very easily. We see Tricky Tree go for a nice move on Thundercat. The Alpha is good on its brakes, so it is able to get the move made there. Question now of whether Tricky Tree can catch up to James Harbin. I've got a feeling he's going to be dealing with that pack for a little bit now. I'm still trying to get past. LBJ, and it's proving difficult because he's getting slipstream from Dawson. Whenever he's getting slipstream, it's hard to make a move. Dawson makes a mistake though, coming out of Ascari. So does LBJ. That's potentially going to let me make a move coming into Parabolica. Not close enough at this stage, not going to go for it. It is going to put me in prime position for a shot at LBJ coming up into T1. Pot's back ahead of Rizzler King. And now with this amount of time left in the race, he's probably going to start defending a little bit more now. Makes sense to him. As the driver late on the brakes again. And just about carries that move forward. Top 5 as they were then. James Harbin kind of having a bit of a boring race on his own right now. The Pool King goes for a nice little move on Thundercat, is it? Yeah, it is Thundercat. Milky Bar just smashes into stuff. Tricky Tree's winning out of this one so far, but this is quite an interesting battle to watch. Pav 46 tries to swing around the outside of the Pool King. The Pool King with slipstream and with AMG power. just able to hold him off coming around Curva Grande. Pav slips one up the end. That was a lovely move. That was lovely. Let's go on board with Pav. Pav, your airbend's facing the wrong way, mate. Anyway, yeah, just look at that. Late on the brakes. Full send. Got it stopped. Beautiful. One of my moves of the race, that. Loved it. Milky Bow just seen knocking over some street furniture. Mutt 36 and Has 91, the two Fords, just having a bit of a drive out with these guys. I want to say Mutt might have pitted again, you know. I think he has pitted again. Mutt's two stopping. Penultimate lap of the race. Bottom Pot going for the move for the lead. Rizlicking this time hasn't gone on to for Bottom Pot, and he slides up into P1. Further down Dawson in third. Dawson's really reeled these dudes in, so we'll be on attack mode now. LBJ doing a really good job of defending to me. LBJ actually at the minute holds the fastest lap, 146.6. So like I said, he's got some good pace in that. I'm on a 146.9, so I'm a few tenths behind him in terms of pace. We're low fuel now, so the cars are probably the fastest they're going to be all race. James Harbin in 6th and is now starting to come under pressure from the guys behind. Thundercat, Tricky Tree and the Pool King. Fat Pickles Bro, Pav 46 in 11th. Now what's happened to Pav 46? We saw him make that absolute beautiful send of a move not so long ago. I don't know if he's made a mistake somewhere. The top three then starting to get really close together. Me and LBJ are starting to get a little bit closer together as well. LBJ just runs it a little bit wide, coming out of a Scari. That is going to let me go up the inside. Going to parabolic it. Honestly, didn't really want to make this move, but kind of had to. Otherwise it would have just lost us too much time. LBJ can does the right thing though, just backs off, gets back into my slipstream and just goes for the repass coming down into T1. That's a smart thing to do. That's what he should do, to be fair. Meanwhile, the top three are having a right good battle now. Bottom at Pot, Rizlicking and Dawson. As we see, Rizlicking just about holds that. So he takes first place, but Rizlicking knocks over. What happened there? Rizlicking on the brakes. Looks like he braked really late. Yeah, too late. Just had to sort of get out of it. So that's it's going to compromise his exit speed a little bit. Bottom at Pot's going to be able to get that. Dawson's in prime position to make an attack. I'm going to try the same on LBJ. I'm going to have to try and move this lap. If I don't try it this lap, it ain't happening basically. See if that was happening. No, it ain't. We can focus on this. Let's get back into this fight a little bit, because this is the fight for the lead. Last race of the season. Honour at stake. Coming to Atafio. Dawson just manages to get it ahead. Rizlicking has to sort of basically cut the corner to keep his place. Now we go again. Rizlicking, it sounds like someone's squeezed some tyres there. At the minute it's Potter, Rizlicking and Dawson. You can see me and LBJ still battling there in the background. Rizlicking gets it a little bit wide. There's contact between the Mazda and the Lexus driver. The Lexus driver's round, Dawson's round. Let's go back and have a look at this. So you can see Rizlicking just got it a little bit sideways. Worn tyres, that's going to happen. There's contact there coming out, and yeah, that's Dawson round. There's not much you can do about them. So unfortunately that's Dawson down into 5th. Now it's me v LBJ for the final podium position. Wislikin though slowing down. I think he's waiting up for Dawson. We'll go back to that and just see what happens. Right, so let's cover everyone as they cross the line. Pot on a thimble of fuel. We'll be lucky not to run out before the line, but he's managed that beautifully. So a great race, Pot, great win. LBJ finishes second, I grab third, final podium position. Rizla King looks to be waiting up for Dawson, so Dawson can finish ahead of him. Thundercat, 6, handbrake, lovely stuff. James Harben, did you slow down? Wow, James, did you run out of? Yeah, did you run out of fuel? This is a Paul King's perspective. James just runs out of fuel on line. You donut. Oh mate. Oh, God bless you. God bless you. So the Paul King grabs 7th, whereas James Harben finishes 8th. Pav 46 and Milky Bar dragged to the line. Pav just nicks it. Milky Bar finishes 10th. Fat Pickles 11th. And the two Fords dead last. Let's have a look at the race results then. So confirmation of our results from Monza. Very cool race to be fair. Let's see what that does to the Drivers' Championship. So this is the end of season results. Dawson takes the win. And I just clinch 4th in the end. I've got a nice little graphic to show you of the top 3 drivers. And some very flattering pictures there. I don't think we could find one for Tricky Tree, but yeah, Dawson, nice coat mate. In terms of the manufacturers then, so this is a manufacturers series. So the results are Lexus take the win, 94 points clear of Honda. Mazda and Ford at the bottom, joint last. So that's it then for the season 1. Thank you for watching and please subscribe.